we get information that it looks like McFarlane has lost the DC license. And then, almost like, this is kind of wild. Let's talk about this. So look, this is, we'll call it the talk of the town. Right now, it seems like the DC license is going back to Mattel. Now, I've heard a lot of people that are like excited about this. They're like super into it. And they say that Mattel's learned a bunch. That's fine. And maybe they have. But I remember that last time that Mattel had the DC license. I didn't like any of those figures. That was in a time when I was I wasn't completely out of toy collecting, but I was kind of out of a lot of toy collecting because I really did not like the bodies of those toys. I mean, I really, really, really did not like those bucks. Also, because I get this all the time, dude, you would have loved classics. You gotta buy some classics. Motu classics. I don't like their bodies. I do not like the body design. The bucks of Motu Classics. I know that shocks people, but the Masterverse figures, I think they have a better body buck. It's just the way I feel about it. Now, is McFarlane perfect? Oh, no. No. We've explained this. We've talked about this multiple times. I have a love-hate relationship with everything he puts out. Either it really works for me, or I get it and I spend a little time with it and go, this is trash. It happens. And I pass on easily 70% of the line that he puts out. He's like, hey, here it is. Come get it. Here it is. I'm putting out all this stuff. And I see it and I go, nah, hard pass. Easily hard pass. It shocks me that I have put together an entire shelf as of lately for DC Multiverse. But I will say this. In the last 2 years, almost as if he knew the license was coming up and he had to prove something in order to keep the license, he has just been putting out great figure after great figure. And I don't care. I think it is. He did some very solid Green Lanterns. He did a very good Superman. He has an amazing Superman on the way. He did Power Girl, and she is fantastic. He put out the Starfire that a lot of people wanted. He put out just figure after figure after figure recently has been really solid. And Toy Fair gives us a look at a couple other figures that are on the way. Jim Gordon, he looks good from what I can tell. His face could be a little better. I'm thinking more along the glasses than anything else, but that's solid. I would buy that Jim Gordon and I would set him up next to a bat signal. I think that he works. That Supergirl. Yes, I'm sold. Here's the thing. I don't have a Supergirl for my shelf. So is this exciting just because? You could argue, yes. You could argue, Bill, that's not very good. You're just kind of excited about nothing. And yeah, you know what? I'm not going to argue with you. Sometimes the things that we want is of necessity. And necessity-wise, I don't have a Supergirl for the shelf. And I will not pay $70 plus for any McFarlane figure because they are not worth it. So I am putting a cap on a lot. I said Marvel, DC McFarlane characters. They are worth $20 to $30. $40 if they are really good. Once you go past that mark, it gets more and more and more and more difficult for me to justify that price point. It gets almost impossible. So looking at her, that's a good face. It's a decent body cap. I kind of wish this came in a little bit. That feels like it's too big, this part. Like it's hanging over and it looks kind of weird. It is not my favorite Supergirl. I don't like the hooker boots Supergirl. I tend to like the boots to be down on the shin. More like a very classic Supergirl. The two Supergirls that I like three Supergirls. Technically, I like the classic Supergirl with the boots that pretty much like this, but with the boots that only go up to about the shin. The next Supergirl that I like a lot is the exposed midriff Supergirl. I liked her, but maybe it's because I was reading the Batman Superman comic book at the time. That's when she was introduced, and I liked that she was young and powerful and brazen and was taking more risks and was a younger, more susceptible Superman to the kind of world, maybe even naive if you would like. I really enjoyed that. I really liked the way they played her, and she had like an attitude. She had something to prove, and she was, once again, just like Power Girl, she was somebody that had lost everything. She lost everything and was coming into this new standard, and the only thing she had was that her cousin was here. Unlike Power Girl, which I explained, I love the fact that she was a truly tragic and difficult character that could have worked a million different angles. She was very interesting. I like the midriff Supergirl, and in some cases, and maybe it's just because over time there's something different about it, I kind of like the white t-shirt, black miniskirt Supergirl as well. I have no idea why. That I honestly don't know. It has like crept in over time as becoming something that I like, where originally I did not like that look at all. I remember actively detesting it. And then over time I kind of saw what they were going for, and I was like, that's not terrible. And then over even more time it just stopped bugging me. And then over even more time, I was like, you know what? It does stand out. It is different and unique over the other Supergirls. I kind of like it. Like, it's weird how time will change your opinions on stuff like this. And then the kicker to that is that sometimes we talk ourselves into saying, I really don't like that. And then a couple years down the road, we go, crap, I do like that. And then the figure is like extinct or way too expensive. And then this. Oh, yes. The Kingdom Come, Justice Society, Other Universe Superman. Like, this fits so much. This is like an older Superman of the Fletcher comics. Of the Fletcher cartoons. That intrigues me. I love that. This is Kingdom Come. That intrigues me. I love that. This is an old Superman. That intrigues me. I love that. This costume is... yes! And because of the Superman that this specifically is, Power Girl is perfect for that. And I'm in the process of kind of trying to set up a JSA. So, like, everything here speaks to me. We are seeing great figure after great figure after great figure. If you don't like any of them, that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. Your collection will not be my collection. We don't have to collect the same ever. But it almost seems like McFarlane realized his time was up and was trying to pull out the stops, learn from his mistakes, take this seriously, and give us good figures. And then maybe, if we went crazy and was buying them, he would get to keep the license. He would be able to make a case to say, hey, look at what I'm doing here. This is where it should stay. It sounds like, and I don't know how confirmed this is, I am filming this on March 3rd. I don't know how confirmed this is, but it looks very, very likely that he is not keeping the license. At this point, from the information I am gathering, it sounds like Mattel will gain the license, he will lose the license. It would be great if Mattel got the license and built in a 6-inch scale to better match stuff like this, and that he got to keep building in the 7-inch scale like this to better match Masterverse. That would be great. Is that what's going to happen? I have a feeling it's not. It would be great to have both, but they would also compete with each other pretty heavily, which sounds like something you don't want to do. But then again, Super 7 makes G.I. Joes, Hasbro makes G.I. Joes. They're not really stepping on each other's toes, and oh my gosh, look at how many sets of Ninja Turtles there are. And they're all being sold all at the same time. They're not stepping on each other's toes. Is it possible that we just get both? I don't know. But I was asked on a video how I feel about McFarlane losing the license. Here's what I'm going to tell you. It's always cool to get somebody new in the game. Let's be fair. Jada came out of nowhere, and now I couldn't see Street Fighter without them. Like, I was not sold on any of the Street Fighters. I was not buying Storm collectibles, and I was not interested in NECA stuff. Then, Jada comes along. That's for me. I was excited. Am excited. Still excited. Can't wait to see them finish the Street Fighter 2 roster. And then, where do we go from there? Because you have my attention, Jada. But, like, to hear Mattel got it back, I would be dancing a jig right now if Jada had got it. I know without a doubt that Jada will give absolute credit to the body sculpts and ideas of what these characters are supposed to look like. They will pay intricate, loving detail to all of it, and they will produce it. I'm on board. But I don't know that from Mattel. Hopefully. But look, say Mattel does some of the best figures I've ever seen. It's possible. It's possible the next wave is like, oh my gosh, that's unbelievable. We got Superman, we got Batman, we got Wonder Woman, we got Flash, we got Green Lantern. They all look unbelievable. I gotta get all of them. I gotta buy the whole wave. Very possible. But let's say, for an instance, that happens. I just got on board. Buying all that. A waste? I'm not the kind of guy that likes to have 5 Superman on the shelf. I don't want 15 Batman. I don't want figures of every scale. I just don't want it. If they move them down to 6-inch stylings, that might mesh with them, but it might not. Because it might be 6-inch, but in a different kind of body scale that makes them look awkward next to Marvel Legends, and we still don't get our dream matchups like Superman fighting the Hulk. We still can't do it. Because they won't look right, because they'll look awkward next to each other. Maybe this is perfect. But then, do I have to start all over again? All over again? And how long will it take to reach the next wave? And because I keep going back to her, I don't care. I think this is one of the best figures he ever did. I love this figure. She sits on my desk. She doesn't go in the collection. She sits right here on the desk, face forward all the time. She's my favorite McFarlane figure he has ever done. Ever. How long am I going to have to wait before we have to get past all the cliches, all the heavy hitters, before I start seeing figures like this again? Before we see absolute craziness like The Question, Ragman, Power Girl, Starfire. You could argue that's a main hitter now. But like, how long do I have to wait to see some of these obscurities again? Is it going to be another, 10-year-long collecting cycle of waiting for them to drop something like... We just got Flesher Superman. Flesher Superman. Unbelievable. We are digging deep into the archives now. Nothing is off limits. And with McFarlane being McFarlane, he's not afraid to give us a fairly adult figure. Let's remember Arkham Catwoman, Butte, and let's give it up to Power Girl. Again, let's get her back on the screen. There she is. She's fantastic. See her? Appreciate this Power Girl. Wow. You think Mattel is ready to do that? Because I'm still having some trouble. That is my favorite line. I love the Masterverse. But I'm still having some problems with some stuff that I've seen where it almost seems like they're afraid to push certain body sculpts, certain ideas. Afraid to kind of push in this direction and give us like the old figures. Like, where is a very classic Teela? Where is a very classic cartoon-inspired Teela? Is there a reason we're holding back on that? Is it because these toys they're trying to hit a market in between adults and kids? So they can't push too far, but they can't go too childish? So they find this kind of medium? And they make good figures, but they never go the distance that you're hoping for in one direction or another necessarily? I mean, let's be honest about some of the buts. You get what I'm a little worried about? There are things to be concerned about with what a new Mattel line will do that McFarlane won't, and what starting over is going to feel like. And then there's always the possibility that they release this and the toys are garbage. Like we see them and we're like, that's not for us. Look at what we just talked about with Playmates. And if they release them and we're all like, oh, that's it, huh? And we are already seeing it. There's a lot of McFarlane stuff that I still want, that I've kind of been piecing out. Every paycheck, maybe I pick up one. Maybe once a month I pick one or two up if I can. All of a sudden, some of the ones that I've had my eyes on them for weeks. They were not moving. Absolutely, they're right here. They're available. Go get them. All of a sudden, Big Bad, Entertainment Earth, some of the other stores, Amazon, some of these figures that I've had my eye on for a while are disappearing. Rapid fire. Because now, with the word that the end of the line is coming up, still going to put it as a rumor, we don't actually know. People are buying up what they don't want to miss, because once it goes to the aftermarket and people start treating this like a classic retro toy line, the prices are going to skyrocket and you will simply never own some of these McFarlane figures ever. Ever. And we'll never see reprint. I'm still waiting for a second chance reprint of that Wonder Woman, and now, if the line is ending, I'm not going to get it. At least I don't think so. There are some concerns here. There is some excitement here. And all of us are looking towards the future with a level of excited uncertainty, I believe. How do you guys see this? What do you think? Excited? Happy that McFarlane's going away? A little disappointed, but excited in the same route? I don't know. This is a bit of a complicated subject because it's going to hit some people in the feels. Especially people that have really put into the line. Let me know.
I have spoken. Take what you will.